We recommend for this scrapbook that you listen with headphones. Thank you.
George Washington Socks, A Time Travel Adventure by Braden, Hannah, Morrison, Lauren, and Caleb.
The probable main character, Matthew Carlton, is a young fifth grader who despises his 7-year-old sister, Katie. He also despises peas. The most important thing that we have learned about this character is that he knows a lot about and is very interested in the Revolutionary War on George Washington, along with the revolutionary events. This was made by Morrison Lynch.
The Adventure Club, including Matt, tells Katie that she can't come with the club on a hike in the woods and by the lake. Katie tells them, "If you don't let me come with you, I will tell Tony's mom and dad to tell our mom and dad." So the club had to take Katie on the hike with them. By Palmer. In these chapters, the Adventure Club goes on a hike by Lover's Lake. Will something bad happen? One cause and effect is that Katie finds out that she left her marshmallows on the trail. Then everyone in the group finds out that Katie is gone. Katie finds the scary boat and is attracted to it. Then so are the boys. By Drew. In this chapter, the Adventure Club goes in the rowboat and disappears. Where did they go? Where could they have gone? The change in the setting was crazy. It became cold and icy. The quiet stillness of the lake had been replaced by the loud roar of a river at flood stage. It was even snowing. By Allie. In these chapters, the Adventure Club realizes they are in 1776. The Adventure Club meets George Washington.
In this chapter, the Adventure Club finds that they are indeed in 1775. They meet George Washington and are going along with the famous Delaware River crossing to Trenton. At the other side of the river, they meet together again and find out that they will go back across the river with Adam Hibbs, the same one from the modern day. They will go back across to go in the safety of an inn. In these two chapters, Matt gets separated from the group when he tries to give General Washington his cape. He gets swept up in the 9-mile march to Trenton and is taken as a soldier because many of them were underage. On the way, he meets a friend, Israel Gates, and ends up trying. And they become friends after Matt makes a promise to give his Israel Gates' sister a gift of some glass beads. In this chapter, the Adventure Club gets separated when Matt needs to give General Washington's cape back. He gets swept up in the march to Trenton and ends up joining the march. He meets a young soldier named Israel. This is a fictional character, probably meant to represent the fierce determination of the people of the members of the Continental Army for freedom.
The way the author made Henry describe the Hessians are people who are 3 times the size of normal people and that are bloodthirsty. He also said they don't care who their victim is as long as they have gold in their pockets. I do think they are bad, but they are probably not that bad. This was written by Caleb D. Matt and Israel's relationship is the strongest relationship I've ever heard of. Matt cares so much about his friend Israel that he is staying with him until Israel is able to get up. Matt loves Israel and is not going to let him die from the cold because Matt knows he has a family waiting for him at home in Massachusetts.
Mr. Hornby is caring and calm and tries to spin words and facts around when you are down. He is an older man with white, bushy eyebrows. Mrs. Hornby, or Temperance, as her husband calls her, is tough, judgy, and mean when she is scared. When she is calm, she is very caring. She is a heavier woman with a high-pitched voice. Matt thought she showed resemblance to a second-grade teacher named Mrs. Pritchett at Matt's school. Blackjack is a mule owned by Mr. Hornby. He is very intelligent and is an understanding animal. Mr. Hornby would bet money on him.
This is a reading from George Washington Socks, Chapter 16, on Matt's Indian Encounter. "It sure is creepy in here, Blackjack," Matt whispered as he and the old mule made their way further along the trail. The strange noises that they had been hearing were now followed by the rustling of leaves. He turned around slowly and was looking back behind him when the mule suddenly came to an abrupt stop. Matt quickly turned in his seat to find two Indians standing on the trail before him. They were dressed in deerskin shirts and pants. Their long black hair fell down to their shoulders. One raised a tomahawk, while the other held a bow with a long pointed arrow directly at Matt's heart. They didn't appear to be much older, but this didn't lessen his terror. For though they were just children, these boys displayed a fierceness and courage that Matt had never seen in boys before. Looking into their unblinking dark eyes, he felt the commanding presence of their strength. It left him feeling weak and soft and frightened. Matt found himself doing what he always did when he was truly terrified. He closed his eyes. He had never been able to watch a horror movie on TV all the way through without closing his eyes and asking Katie to tell him what was happening. There was no one to tell him what was happening now, so he just sat with his eyes shut tight, listening and waiting. Suddenly, he heard some leaves rustling and more footsteps. Matt tried to squeeze his eyes shut tighter. "There's more of them," he thought frantically. "Probably a whole tribe. I'll never live to..." Before he could finish his thought, he heard someone speak. "Oh my gosh, doesn't that look like Chief?" came a voice from the bushes. Matt cracked open one eye to see the two Indians still standing before him. Then he opened the other eye to see Hooter looking out behind the bushes. "Hoot!" Matt cried loudly. But on hearing this, the Indians thought he was giving some kind of war cry, and they rushed the mule and pulled Matt off. "No!" Hooter yelled, jumping out of the bushes and coming to Matt's aid. "Friend, he's friend." In these chapters, Matt discovers that his sister has been kidnapped by the Hessians. The Indians that he met in the previous chapter help him find his little sister. Then he storms the Hessian tent, only to be taken prisoner later. Thank you.